Excellent timing.
Classic
Dave's gonna go get a drink. I realized that I spent the whole time raging and didn't set up our cameras, but I think it's just a quick flip like it is every week given our join order. Welcome to Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader Strings of Fate Season 3 Episode 30, The Talisman. James is lucky but he almost didn't rename this episode because I had in my notes that I would name this episode if he didn't say anything, but then at the last second, literally as I was typing Warhammer 40K Rogue Trader Strings of Fate Season 3 Episode 31, James didn't name this episode. Dave said something and I was like, and then James said, well, we didn't have the episode last week, so we're keeping the same episode title from there. And I was like, you got me. You fucking boomed me. Last second. If Dave Traeger hadn't fucking been here, I would have got away with it. The episode number wouldn't have been wrong. Indeed, James might have been right in the end, but I would have got away with it. I would have Scooby-Dooed that shit. It's been a week with a lot of BattleTech. It's been a week with a lot of writing new war games. Today has been a disappointing day in myself. As the hyper competitive part of me has come out and has shown once again that I am a toxic gamer and I should never be allowed to join normals and casuals ever. I have to be kept separate.
Listen, AP,
like darks and lights in the washing machine.
We just need to start playing League of Legends.
No,
and that's where you can just focus all of your toxicity and drain, and you'll get it drained out of you into the League community.
I'm good. I only play like 2 League heroes. One is the Lena Inverse character, who is now apparently Vivi from Final Fantasy. And 2 is a bird guy who's a wife guy, and the two of them can go back to the fountain together. He's a songbird. He's like a tropical songbird. Yeah, Saya and Renardo. I don't fucking know, man.
You're kind of close, but
their names. I just know that it's a hero combo that works well together, and he's like a 6 support hero. Those are my 2.
Actually, you were pretty much spot on. I just looked it up. Zaya and Rakan.
Okay. I don't know that Rakan and Reynardo.
You were close enough. It was an R name.
So I got to tell a story now then, because and Spoon and AP have heard this story, but it's for everybody else's benefit. Was that this week I was down in Melbourne, as you would have known if you watched Generic Fantasy Adventure, which you should watch tomorrow as well for the next episode, or if you haven't watched last week's episode, go back and watch it. While I was in Melbourne, I caught up with a friend of the channel, Chris, who has been on a couple of AP's gaming streams like Farm Simulator. And I've been wanting to check out for ages. Melbourne has this new gaming sort of, I wouldn't call it a cafe. It's too big. It's 3 stories tall, this place. It's a gaming location called Fortress Melbourne. They have like an esports arena there. They have like a medieval style tavern for meals. They have role play rooms. It's right in the middle of Melbourne's downtown. So it would cost, like the rent there would be probably close to $1 million a year, I'd say. So they must be. Yeah, it's about a year old, I think. Okay. So it's a massive establishment. It's got on-site physical security all the time. So we went to check it out, and we had a meal there, and they were doing trivia that night, and the trivia topic was pop culture and video games. 40 questions. Now we didn't get there in time to sign up, but we thought we'll just sit there and we'll just see how many of the questions we know, because we're nerds, we like video games, we like pop culture, and I think we sat through the first 20 questions, and I got 3 in the first 20 questions. It was such obscure stuff. It was things like play a bit of music and say, okay, which anime is this the theme song from? Mm-hmm. And I had no idea. And then when they said what it was, I was like, I've never heard of that anime. I didn't even know that was a thing. But one of the questions, the one that really pissed me off, was they showed like a screen from a video game, like some sort of like in World of Warcraft, your screen where you have all your talents you pick, that sort of stuff, like the setup screen to manage your character. And they said, what screen is this game from? They'd obviously removed all the text. It was just the structure of the board and everything. And they said, now, I will acknowledge this is a bit of an older one, It's more for the boomer gamers out there. You know, what game is this? I'm thinking, I've got no idea what this is. And when they revealed what it was, they said, it's League of Legends. Like, that came out in 2009. How is that? How is that
boomer gamers? Oh, man. Wow.
Yeah, so I was out. That was it. That was terrible. And the fact it took like an hour to deliver our drinks. So I'm like, okay, I've been to Fortress Melbourne. I'm done there now. But yeah.
Okay. James, what would you consider to be a boomer game then?
Like Pac-Man. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
Raptor called the Shadow.
Which my wife was just playing last night, Pac-Man, on our TV.
Where would you put things like Police Quest or anything like that?
Commander Keen.
Yeah, where would you put those games? Are they boomer games as well?
Well,
Commander Keen is absolutely a boomer game, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I suppose it depends what you mean, like boom, you're referring to the baby boom generation or just to a general term for old people, such like, you know, I played games like Police Quest and Commander Keen, and I am Generation X.
Yeah. Because there's a new terminology, and it might piss you off. It's called a boomer shooter. Okay. It's a real thing. It's a
boomer shooter, yeah. The slow shooters.
I know what you're talking about. Like Doom, stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, like the quick
Wolfenstein 3D.
Super paced shooters with gibs, right?
Yeah.
So things like, I mean, but you can have modern boomer shooters, right? So you can have like, no, definitely not Duke Nukem, but like, God, what
Duke
was a really
Nukem
popular one
in that branch?
I mean, I guess, but like, it's not a modern boomer shooter. Like, there was one that came out recently, like Project Warlock, for example, is a modern boomer shooter.
Bolter, the one that they're making a 40K.
Oh, okay, yeah. I saw the trailers. That yes,
that'd be considered a boomer shooter.
Ion Fury,
by the way. Yes,
Wolfenstein, The Old Blood.
No, that's
Project Warlock.
Project Warlock is one I just mentioned. Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, James.
I just looked up top 10 boomer shooters.
Yeah. Is it to identify anime by theme? Because I'm already no good at that. I can tell you now. Zork.
Yeah.
So I would actually say that the main people that played Zork, like I did play some of it, but it was the people that were really keen on it were like my sisters who are 10 years older than me. You know, so I think I was at the tail end of playing things like Zork or like the text adventure games, like Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy or the Goddesses of Phobos, that sort of stuff. They were sort of they were a bit before my time in terms of when I was a game.
Would it piss you off to know that there is a generation of Call of Duty playing kids that know what Zork is and have completed Zork because it was
because it's retro. You know, it's the same reason that Sony has restarted their vinyl printing factories, because people want old stuff.
I'll tell you what old stuff I want. Pokemon. Yeah, it's you and me. I know it's my destiny.
What do you think of the new Pokemon then, Arthur?
I haven't played any of the new Pokemon.
The one they just...
the new Pokemon.
Yeah, the Scarlet and Violet. That actually looks...
Based on people saying the last two Pokemons were good, I want to believe in this game so hard. It will never live up to my expectations, but as long as it is a average Pokemon game, I'll be okay.
So they did.
If there are no Eevees in the game, I will destroy my cartridge and demand a refund.
Okay, so they did Arceus, which was like completely new take on like Pokemon, which was like really nice to see, but it wasn't like a good game, right? But it was like an interesting Pokemon game.
Thought it was a good game. I keep hearing it was a good game.
I mean, it's a good game by people who play Pokemon every single day standards, right? Like in terms of like, you know, what I would expect to be like, you know, like a Breath of the Wild is like nothing near that, right? But this new one, right, like, because previously, so the way that I understand it is Pokemon had the one path, which is like you beat the gyms, go to the Elite Four.
This new one has 3 paths.
Yeah. This one has 3 paths, and it's open world, and you can like choose which direction you're going.
Is one of them free Pokemon from enforced slavery?
No. James, have
Maybe.
we talked about Palmon yet?
No.
Palmon is an
I know what
upcoming
Palmon-
Pokemon clone where you actually do force your Pokemon into slavery.
And they have guns.
Yeah, making guns for you. And like
Pal
building
World.
space shuttles for you. I cannot wait for Palmon. It's gonna be fucking amazing. I don't care
Pal
how
World.
cringe it'll be. I'm gonna sorry, what's it called?
Pal World.
Pal World. I will. And you can like crossbreed your pals. So like you can make like, oh, this is a flying dragon that's like water type and like an electrical rat. And you can like breed them together and maybe you'll get a flying dragon rat or maybe you'll get an electrical dragon. And bro, I want that fucking electrical dragon. That's what I'm saying, man. I'm gonna find whatever this game's Eevee is, just like fucking cool fox cat dog, and I'm just gonna have an elemental selection. And all of the ones that have failed to breed correctly will be working in the arms factory.
Do you know?
Failed
You know?
to breed correctly.
You know what I mean? Like you know, sometimes the babies will be not what I want. Okay. I want to be straightforward. I am going to be a villain in Pal World for sure.
100%.
We're getting a dedicated server if that's a thing, and it will be a place of lunacy.
It's gonna be like the movie
Arthur,
Lord of
do you
War,
know-
but
Do you know do you know what Pal World is based on?
No, I mean Pokemon, but
No. There's a game called Craftopia.
yeah, I know
Which was-
Craftopia.
It's a ripoff of Breath of the Wild, which had like just these stupid fucking crafting mechanics in it. So Pal World is literally that.
Okay.
Like they're not reinventing anything. They're just kind of like, I mean, they're doing the breeding thing, I guess, but like don't expect it to be too different from Craftopia.
So first off, you know that guy from Lord of War is free now. We're trading him for the NBA player who smokes some weed in Russia.
oh, are we?
That's the
What
guy.
the fuck are you talking
Okay.
about?
That's the guy. Second
Wasn't
off,
he was Ukrainian, wasn't he? Though not Russian.
I mean, back then it was all the same deal.
Yeah.
Did I just pass out for like 20 minutes and you guys are talking about something completely different?
Lord of
now?
War.
What the fuck?
Spoon
The
mentioned
movie?
Lord of War. That
Where?
movie is about a
Oh, in the chat or
Russian
something?
arms
Jesus.
dealer. Yeah. That guy was, of course, arrested by the United States, and now he's free after many years because we're trading him for a NBA.
Yeah,
Basketball
I
player.
don't think Russia's going to set him free. I think he's going to end up in a
Why would they
gulag.
set him free? He was their best client. He was selling them AKs over AKs. They were buying AKs. They were selling AKs. That guy. Have you watched the movie?
Yeah, he was.
That
It was
dude
also.
was that dude. Listen, in
was
Cyberpunk
also
terms,
logic.
that dude was the world's greatest fixer. Okay,
It was largely stolen Soviet era weaponry anyway. That was what he was selling them. So
he's moving it around. My favorite part of that movie is where the general shoots a dude who's flirting with his wives, and Nick Cage has to think fast and is like, "Well, now you have to buy this gun."
it's a used gun. Yeah,
Yeah, it's a used gun. I can't sell it.
He's like wiping it down. I'm like, God, you sold the scene to me so well, Nick Cage. There are times when your acting talent has failed you, mostly in movies that are not the first Declaration of Independence theft movie.
National Treasure.
Yeah. Or car stealing. Basically, if Nick Cage is in a movie and he's not stealing something, it's probably not a very good movie. I'm just going to be straightforward. But
Well, you didn't like Ghost
The
Rider?
Rock. The Rock is good.
The Rock is good.
is it good because of Nick Cage, though?
It
Yeah.
doesn't. That is not the point.
That's true. All right. I'll buy that. Most of them. Well, first off,
Soft.
I would also say that The Rock is about stealing things.
No,
It's sort of a reverse heist.
Yeah.
they're trying to prevent a
I've never seen Face
biochemical
Off. I heard
weapon.
it wasn't very good.
It's.
Is that the one with
I
Alec
don't know if
Baldwin
good is the right
fighting a
word,
guy
but
on
it's
a
definitely
stealth bomber?
watchable.
Wow. What a great, stunning Rotten Tomatoes for the movie. I don't know if it's good, but it's watchable. Okay. Sounds like Netflix
I enjoyed it
for a rainy day when nothing else is on.
I'll say,
would you accept Kick-Ass as a good movie?
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass too.
I like that.
Oh,
Well,
they're like
daddy.
superheroes?
Yeah.
I barely remember that. I'm sorry.
Superheroes? Come on, there's vigilantes.
Vigilantes, sure, okay.
Jesus,
Yeah, because none of them are really super.
The movie.
Like there is no superpowers except for like maybe the whole like dead nerve endings.
Okay.
Drugs.
That's right.
That's
yeah,
a
that's
superpower.
right. They had that. Yeah.
All right. I don't know what any of this is.
Like Gunny's right. Like Face Off is a very fun action movie.
Okay.
Wait, is Face Off the one without a Baldwin where they fight?
No, John Travolta.
John Travolta and Nick Cage, and they basically switched places.
I saw a video explaining that movie, so I've never seen it, but I know about it.
Because they both do a good job of acting like the other person. Like, you know, 'cause obviously most actors have their idiosyncrasies, and they both do a good job of pulling off each other's idiosyncrasies.
Perfect.
I'm second thought. I'm going to go back on what I said. Face Off is a good movie.
Okay.
You should watch it, AP.
All right. Well, James has dragged us so far away from my intro, which is all I was going to say was that I have a new show called Generic Fantasy Adventure. It's Sunday nights from 7 to 10, and it's just a generic D&D 5e game with nothing special about it at all. We've also got...
Except it's incredible.
That is a subjective opinion that you hold, yes. I'm not putting that in the advertising because I don't know that the subjective
Your opinion is that it's generic and uninteresting is subjective.
I didn't say it was that uninteresting was never a word that has left my mouth when I wasn't describing my cat.
Arthur, can I randomly come in as an isekai character one time?
No.
For like one episode?
Absolutely not.
Oh, you could. What was you could play Wolfgang from Cyberpunk.
Nice. It's kick kicking.
I'd rather you played Mash Nathers.
I could come in as Kelly. Come on, you know that'd be fun.
Jesus. No. Absolutely not. 0% chance.
Kelly the rat person.
I had a whole show about isekaiing.
It was awesome.
I was just thinking yesterday about how terrible it was, actually.
What? What was bad about it? Don't say the cast because that is something
how
that
do
happened
I
anyway.
begin? The list is so exhaustively cringe.
Now, the question is Dave thinking about Issei Collision or thinking about
No, he's not thinking about
Issei
Issei Collision.
I can't remember what the other
I'm talking
name
about
is at the
Restart.
moment. Yes.
Is that what it's called? Restart?
Yes, Restart. I'm embarrassed to have made it. I tried out a lot of new stuff. It wasn't great.
You had a card game in there that no one used?
That was you're talking about the D&D show we were in, which is New Game Plus.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
I'm talking about Restart, which was definitively an isekai. If you keep resetting to the same world, that's not an isekai. You have to go to another, it literally means another world. Restart was a isekai, and it was bad.
Okay.
If I had made an anime out of it, I would have given it a rating of a 3 at best.
Yeah, but you would have had like merch and you would have made a lot of money. So
okay. I didn't have any merch and I didn't make any money from it. I'm really struggling to get through this intro in time. We're 19 minutes in. I'm still struggling to get through a 3-minute intro. 2 Battletech Word games are ongoing. Keep an eye out for Megamech Council, the Phase 2 recruitment, which will probably be in about 2 weeks, given the pace that we're going, if you're into Megamech. And if you're a Patreon member, you probably already know about the upcoming, in the next 3 days, Project Athena war game, which is about to kick off. Spoon is one of the 2 general commanders. I gotta probably tonight or tomorrow wrap up inventorying your forces.
Yeah, I've got to send you the rest. Yeah, I got to send you the rest of the RCT locations.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I haven't checked the list at all. Like, I'm not checking until the morning of the 4th.
Gotcha.
Because I feel like if I check it, I might say something to someone.
Remind me before we start. I got to ask you a question about that too, Arthur. I'll ask you once you finish up.
All right. I had one other thing I wanted to mention. Now I've forgotten because we've gone so far afield. Well, I'm sure I'll remember it later. Pondo, how's it going?
Going all right. I've kind of been struggling on what I want to do next because I mean this show's going to end in what?
I'm with you,
3 to 4
Pondo.
weeks, depending on if we all
I'm
make
with
it.
you.
Yeah.
I've been left out in the dark. I can't play BattleTech. James doesn't want to run Vampire. What are we going to do?
Group at a time, man. That's all I need. I've got it written. I said I got it written.
So yeah.
Pondo, you may not know this. So let me throw this to you. I know a guy who's a former streaming GM who has a Twitch and YouTube channel. His name is Pondo the Mad.
Yeah.
I know you've got at least one player who won't be in this time slot who really wants to play something, anything very badly.
Yeah.
Who's that?
It's you, Dave.
Oh, shit.
It's you.
He's got you.
The other two are fucking joining me for Pendragon. I wasn't going to be talking about them.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Have you considered another Skyrim playthrough, Pondo? Maybe.
I can't do it again. I can't.
Play it on a fridge this time, though.
Tabletop RPG Skyrim. It's just Pondo doing like what's that D100 system? Twilight 2000. He's just in a corner. There's a chained bear and he just keeps rolling stealth over and over again until he hits 100 times to level his stealth.
The other thing is that I've been kind of trying to keep myself from getting distracted and to focus on a project that I want to do, and it's not working.
But there's always more projects, so
yeah,
that's the projects is next project.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is I'm trying to focus and sit down and finish one, but then I get distracted. But what about this over here? I can't. I gotta stop doing.
I have a solution for that, by the way. You know what it is?
What is it?
You sell the early version of it, and then you're indebted to your customers until you finish it.
I don't know if you know what indebted means, but I can't even begin to tell you how many people will never leave open access.
Well,
not every game can be like the universally critically acclaimed ancient release of Battle Brothers, a still very popular.
I don't know why I was about to think you were going to say something about Star Citizen.
Jesus Christ. All I would say about Star Citizen is to direct you where you should be flushing your cash down the toilet instead of investing.
Are you kidding me, Arthur? Do you know that they're about to release an entire living world right now?
Great.
Listen,
I'm an EVE Online player.
Yeah,
when I
later?
No, I'm an EVE Online player. When I saw them, like, we had 50 players in orbit of the planet at the same time, and it didn't lag badly. I was like, okay, 50 players. Right.
Yeah, but here's the other thing.
I was there at the Battle of Delve where 2,000 people slugged it out for 8 fucking hours, brother. If you can't keep a server of 50 players up for 20 minutes, how can you justify a $500 million investment?
But could you get out and walk around your ship in EVE?
Yes. They've added that. It's been out for years.
They've added it now.
Oh, I'm sorry. It wasn't designed from the ground up with $500 million of investment. They've added it now. Star Citizen's been out almost as long as EVE at this point, Spoon. You can't fucking fishtail out of this one, man.
Look,
they're boomer games at this point. They're boomer games. They're closer to the release of Episode 1 Star Wars than they are to Episode 9.
Jita system. You want to tell me that the EVE doesn't lag? Jita.
Listen, let me tell you something. You got 5,000 people trying to get in and out of a space station, and the shit doesn't collapse. I'd say people made Jita what it was. And I'm going to be honest with you real quick. There were people that took advantage of how laggy it was. I know because I was one of them. Suicide freightering was a common thing. Oh, Spoon, the lag was intentional. It's how you make cash. Fucking listen, it was there. If you wanted to get stuff, you could go places other than Jita to get it, to buy it or sell it. The lag in Jita was intentional. People would put 3, 4, 5 extra accounts sitting there in suicide frigates just so that they could blow up freighters and lol all day long. The lag was intentional. It shouldn't surprise you that every time they upgraded the servers, Jita instantly became just as laggy from even more players. All right. It's a principle of civil engineering involving highways and entrances into cities. It's very real. Look it up. Although I will say in real life, that doesn't normally involve someone being 8 different people in a car bomb.
What? I have no idea.
Listen, there are some very uniquely EVE Online things, and suicide freightering is one of them.
I forget every time that if something relatively close to EVE Online is mentioned, Arthur gets triggered a little bit.
I started today out talking about my hyper competitiveness. EVE Online is where I discovered that little thing.
Yeah, and I take blame for part of your hyper competitiveness coming back.
The problem, Pondo, it's not. You realize that it's my fault, not yours. I need you to understand that, right? Like,
yeah, I feel bad for what I did back in Total War,
but it was a normal trolley. I'm sure it was funny for Gutfelden. I'm sure it was great for Big Home since he won. It was
to be honest,
reasonable
I think he was going to win
move.
Regardless.
I saw it coming and I decided to ignore it because I thought there was no way you would take so long to betray me, and decided to just go ahead with trying to win. And then you did betray me at my literal weakest moment. And I was furious for having allowed myself to be put in that position.
You know what the best part about
entirely
all of what Arthur's saying right now is that no one will ever see it. So him saying it on a stream is
we did see it. It's a whole fucking series, Dave.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you're not still ragging on about that other shit? I don't know.
No.
This is the Total War.
This is
multiplayer game.
It was a series. It was well viewed.
Yeah. So it was
critics enjoyed my mental breakdown.
Yeah, and I was taking like massive losses.
You took L's left and right for sure.
The entire game, so I was getting like really tired of it, and I was so far behind everything between the risks because I had like 0 souls. Everybody else had like 3, and I was like, okay, I need to do something fun here. I've been getting armies wiped out consistently, and then coming back about maybe 5 turns later with a full army again.
I went to go watch the Chaos Antelopes run and the Chaos Waste run with my best friend and brother, and he pushed me down into them.
Yeah.
Then he became king.
I was going to go after Gut, but I had no idea where he was.
He went to go kill the new young prince and missed, and then he had a second opportunity to kill him, and he missed again and died.
So are you Mufasa and
I'm
Pondo
Mufasa? He's Scar. Pondo is Scar in this situation,
and then
but he didn't get a free 8 years of rulership.
Big Holmes is Simba.
It turned out that Mufasa had an illegitimate child, and that was Holmes.
And he was already grown up and an adult at this.
So he saw me push AP off, and then he just went up as a bro. That's not cool.
He just ignored me. That's the thing. He swerved on your ass.
So I made a miscalculation. I was like, oh shit, I need to stop him before he gets the thing, because once he's that triggers that. So I panicked, did a force march into the rift, made it to his realm, which he hadn't moved yet, because I thought he had moved based on what I was listening to.
Basically walked right up to him and served yourself on a dish. With a pineapple dress around you, made of just sliced pineapples to make you more delicious.
All I could do would be like, we could have just like a fair fight. No, okay, that's fair.
Yeah, fair fight. Hang on 1 second. I've 50% fatigue rate. Can't initiate battles. Can't run away. Let's have a fair fight. Let's wait a turn. Yeah. Don't stab me while I'm down, bro.
I had the plan. I had everything set up for it, and I fucked up in the end because I fumbled.
What else you got going on, Pondo?
That's it. I
All
got
right,
nothing
Henley,
else at the moment.
I know you're confused because we jumped between like 5 different series.
shows. Yeah.
What do you have going on?
So I recently got my couch, but it's not here yet. They finished building it. So it took them almost a month to do that. So it should be here Monday or Tuesday. And then I'll finally be able to sit down in my house without feeling like I purchased nothing. So, you know. But I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of working. I'm always just kind of working, I guess. I did watch that Elvis movie, actually.
How was that?
So I was going into it hoping it would be like Rocket Man or something like that, where it's like, you know, like it's sort of like a biography. And it kind of was like a biography, but it was just so all over the place. Like, it was weird. I don't know how to describe it. It was like, okay, so it has that, I forget what the terminology is, but the unreliable narrator sort of style to it. And yeah, I don't know. It was, Tom Hanks did a pretty good job in it, but it's just like it just felt like so weird. And then at the end of the movie, they're just like, all right, and he's dead. Cool, moving on. Like, that was pretty much it. I was just like, okay. Because, you know, spoiler, Elvis is dead. You know, like they didn't, like, the thing that I wanted to see was, like, I wanted some, because, you know, there's always the memes of, like, Elvis is dead, or how did he die, or whatever. Like, did he die sitting on the toilet with a sandwich in his mouth? Like, you know, they never clarified that, which is, like, the whole, you know, cool for me in that movie, I guess. But like, anyway,
I have visited Gracelands, and I can say that he did have velour as a wall covering.
I believe it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like, that was interesting, I guess. I did actually sit down. Do you guys remember a Microsoft video game called Quantum Break?
Yep.
Yeah.
Had like Sean Evans in it and some other things like that.
Yes.
Yeah, they made a TV show for it.
So have you guys actually played that game?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
I heard it was awful.
No, it's not. It's actually fucking awesome. It's actually really good. And they do this, like, because it surprised me, right? Because I don't remember anyone talking about this fucking game ever. I think it came around the time when Microsoft was losing the console wars, so they were trying desperately to do anything to, like, get exclusives.
It was early on in the generation between the PS4 and the Xbox One, where they tried to force the Kinect with the Xbox, which raised it at about $100 that no one really wanted.
Didn't they get the actor that played Littlefinger as well to do one of the roles in it? Yeah.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
So they had all these really, because here's the thing about the show, about the game. You play a game, you finish an episode, and then they give you like a 40-minute episode of TV in between the episodes of the game. It's surreal. It's like kind of like the best full motion video game I've ever played. But the game itself is like actually really, really good. Like it's kind of like Control, but like less surreal, if that makes sense. Like it's kind of like a little bit of Max Payne mixed in with Control, and you've basically got the game.
It did have the classic issue with time travel games or movies that spends a lot of time trying to explain the mechanics of how it works to you and justify its pseudoscience.
Yeah, that part was, I mean, I'm only like act 3 of 5 in that game, but like they did some really interesting things like as well, where it's like mixed media, where like the players choose an ending. Because if I remember correctly, they originally released the game an act at a time, right? So you would finish act 1, and then you'd get like a little part where you make a decision, and that decision then chooses what episode of the TV show they show or something. So, and then they like show you what the results were and stuff like that. And I don't know, it's such a super weird game because every time I see it, because I'm playing it on the Xbox Game Pass, right? So I never paid for it or nothing, but like every time I see it, I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember that game. Whatever. And then we just decided to play it randomly, and it's like, it's actually like awesome. So
if you do like interesting time mechanics in games, then I recommend Eternal Threads on Steam. It's like $20 US. It's very positive reviews. I quite enjoyed it.
Okay, I don't have time to play video games anymore. Like I had this weird moment in time when my wife and baby weren't here for like a few days,
and did you
then
sleep?
a friend, kind of. Like my body's still just like, yep, nope, here you go, get up. And it's like, okay.
It sounds like you half slept and played video games.
No, like I worked most of the time, did household chores the other part of the time. And then a friend came over one night and said, hey, look, you know what we haven't done in a long time? Alcohol and video games. I'm like, okay. So we have this thing where we like, because we're both like tired, right? So we both do the thing when one person's falling asleep, you hand him the controller and he continues playing the game while the other person slowly nods off. That's basically what we do. But we tried to play like a bunch of games, and they're like, I don't know, there's this mentality that I have right now where I don't have the motivation to play video games, and nothing seems interesting enough to keep me engaged with the content. I don't know if you guys have that problem, but I certainly do.
It might be because you end up you're now making the game, so you kind of have that. It's almost like work mentality.
No. It's that's like saying, hey, I make movies for a living and I can't enjoy movies anymore. Like it doesn't work like that. I mean, like
I have a hard time going to a single game at a time. Like I tend to have about 3 different games running at any point in time and don't finish any of them.
Yeah, for me though, it's like I struggle to like for example, Cyberpunk, right? Like, let me go finish it or whatever. So you boot it up, and then the login sequence takes so long, and then by the time the game loads, I'm just like, ugh. Because then it's like, I got all these things on the map I need to do, and it's like, ugh, I don't care anymore. So I just Alt F4 out of it. But speaking of that, I mean, did you guys get around to watching Cyberpunk's?
Yeah, I finished it.
Yep.
I haven't started it yet.
I'm at like 5 episodes, but given that everyone on Discord has discussed it without spoilers at all, and then Twitter has basically fan art ruined every single scene of it for me, I don't know that I'm ever actually going to finish it. It's good.
I think everyone was pretty discreet on your Discord.
I mean, Twitter just outright spoiled the end for me, for sure.
Twitter doesn't give a fuck.
I thought the first episode was incredibly weak. It got much better after that, but the first episode was nowhere near as good as the others, and I almost basically just barrel rolled out of it at that point. Like, it wasn't even at trigger level of good.
I can't. I don't know. I mean, I kind of look at it like any other Netflix show. You just kind of like turn it on and watch it. You know, like you binge it, sort of thing. Like, TV shows are weird like that nowadays. Like,
Maybe.
Like, for example, I don't know if Breaking Bad would have done as well as it did if it came out today, because people just don't have the sort of...
But it didn't come out today. It came out when it came out.
What I'm saying is people don't have the capacity to sit down and enjoy a slow TV show anymore.
I disagree with that entirely, and at the highest levels, given the fact that Ring of Power is out. Game of Thrones
and the first 2 episodes of Andor, but a lot of people have
the
criticized
first 2 episodes of Andor. Wow, yeah, for sure.
Don't people hate all of those shows?
Some people do.
I don't know. People hate everything nowadays, and they always have, actually. But boy, the first 2 episodes of Andor. We'll talk about a glacier. It's speeding up now, but it is in fact pacing and timing of the show is super weird in between these really cool moments. I'm not really sure how to feel about it because it's supposed to be a callback to Rogue One, which was incredibly well paced and timed. I honestly still think Rogue One was the best Star Wars movie by a large margin.
Do you think let's say you take Andor and just make a 2-hour movie out of it, do you think it would have been better?
Given that there's only about 2 hours out of it right now, no, because it would have been an awful movie.
Okay. I mean, let's say you take the entire season. Obviously, you haven't seen it yet. It's out. But, it's like saying, hey, what if we took the Hobbit book, which is a children's book, and make it 3 movies?
Yeah.
You in for that?
I am going to be straightforward with you. The Hobbit movies are not as bad as people think that they are.
But then
they are good.
They just prattle on.
Sure. I don't disagree with that. They are good. They have some incredible moments. They have some very stupid ones. The addition of Legolas and Legolas's not girlfriend as a character were incredibly stupid. The longer I live, the more I come to recognize that Legolas is in fact the most useless Lord of the Rings character who's ever lived.
Until you realize no one actually talks to Frodo.
Here's the thing. Legolas was sent to the council to apologize because Mirkwood fucked up so bad and let Gollum go. He was just supposed to go and say, sorry, we messed up, and then leave. And instead, he basically... remember that, again, Legolas is also the crown prince of Mirkwood as well. And he didn't have permission to do this, like Boromir, who, again, was not supposed to be there. Boromir was not supposed to be at that meeting so badly. God has only intervened in Lord of the Rings in 3 times, and 2 of them were because of Faramir fucking up so badly. Boromir wasn't supposed to be there, but at least he had permission. Legolas just showed up and was like, oh, damn, I want to get on this ring shit too.
And then he goes, and my bow.
That wasn't at the council. That wasn't at the was that even in the same movie? I think that was at the beginning of the second movie.
Spoon, you're forgetting the most important thing. He does this.
Okay.
So
that again, not Legolas. That's actually Boromir. We're moving.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Boromir does that. And then he dies too. That was also a good part.
When Boromir dies?
Yeah.
You felt that was a good part?
I did.
I mean, it was a pretty fucking epic death scene.
It was epic death, man.
It also completes the circle of the actor. I forget his name now.
Sean Bean dying constantly.
Bean, yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then the circle was complete again when Sean Bean in the Matt Damon Mars movie was like, so at the Council of Elrond. All right, people who didn't watch that movie don't know what I'm talking about, but people who do are woke to what I just dropped there. Anyway.
I loved him in Game of Thrones, by the way, because it was just like, we
for
all
one
know
season.
It's coming.
You loved him for one of the 8 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Where you know it's coming. You know it's coming, right? You can't put Sean Bean in a TV show without him dying.
There are more Sean Bean movies where he doesn't die than where he does die. You know that, right?
I don't believe you.
Well, I'm like, I mean, what was it? Was it Lord of the Rings, the one that really made that meme famous?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, people point out he dies in less percentage of his movies than he survives, but he dies in more movies than any other actor. Any other major actor, sorry, like a lot of sort of mook actors from action movies.
Well, that's because John Cena and The Rock are out here going, well, I can't get beaten in a fist fight in a movie. I love those pictures of The Rock wearing a khaki shirt and cargo shorts, and people are like, these are 4 different movies. He's wearing the same outfit in 4 movies.
and they're all in the jungle.
Oh, shit, that checks out, actually.
But isn't his character in Jumanji an isekai or like some bullshit, right? Where
I've not
people
seen
get sucked in and they take on the character of the rock.
So it's the person's, like, the player's personality gets put into that character, so he acts like them.
Wasn't the first movie? Wasn't the first movie he was like some hot girl or something like that? Apparently, or something. I don't remember.
No, you're thinking of Jack Black.
Jack Black was the hot girl, and The Rock was The
Rock was a nerd kid.
Yeah, the nerd kid.
Kevin Hart was played by a jock, and
that's like the worst one.
I don't know what to say to any of this.
Kevin Hart, he's tiny.
Let me tell you something. Before the MCU, there was one Spider-Man movie, okay? And before, there's only one Jumanji movie and has Robin Williams, all right? There's not going to be a Jumanji extended universe. There's no Jumanji and Jumanji 2. There's fucking Jumanji. It has Robin Williams.
Before the MCU, there was 5 Spider-Man movies.
There was one Spider-Man movie.
AP has denial about the other Spider-Man movies.
There was one Spider-Man movie.
Okay, so we're just making shit up now.
We're all just gonna nod and we'll move on.
I watched the Infinite Spider-Man MCU movie and I was confused because I didn't understand who the third Spider-Man was, because he's never been in any of the other Spider-Man movies.
Hey, Adam Garfield is actually a really good Spider-Man. I liked him.
And
it's only one Spider-Man movie. Let me have this.
AP will die on his hill alone.
I'm not alone about this one.
All right, old man. You take your one Spider-Man movie and go home.
I assure you, I am not alone.
Is your one Spider-Man movie Spider-Man 2? Because that's going to be really awkward.
Just Spider-Man. It's the original Spider-Man.
It's the first one.
The first
one.
Even
though 2 is clearly bad.
I would say,
you know what? We're moving on.
Next thing you're going to tell me is there's only one Shrek movie, and it's Shrek 3.
I think I've seen the other Shreks, but they have not left an impression on me.
You should watch the Shrek movies again. They have aged
good,
terribly,
actually.
But they're still good. It's
good.
weird.
I'm good.
I don't think. Well, Shrek 1 probably definitely. Shrek 2 is still.
Watch it from an animation perspective and just like.
Okay,
it's
I see
really cringy, right? Like
Shrek 1 was literally made from all of the rejects who weren't working on the more important, more well-paying projects. It was made as a joke just to fill the roster.
I know, but here's the thing: it's like you look at it, right, and you can see like, oh shit, it made money because now it's like got like actual animation.
From like 1 and 2, yes, I understand.
2 was amazing, by the way.
2 is perfect.
Is that the one with Puss in Boots?
Yes,
that's the one with.
I have no idea, man.
That's the one with the fairy godmother.
All I know is that everybody's like, man, these Puss in Boots spinoffs are really good. I'm just like,
the new one that's coming out looks fucking beautiful, man. Oh my god. I'll snap you a trailer of it. It looks so good. It's called The Last Wish. It's oh dude.
Wow.
It's
so they just
really
lifted
good.
that right out of Witcher, huh?
What?
No, it's pretty much he's down to his last life is the premise.
The Last Witch is literally the most famous main story. The whole book is about the last. It's literally the book is called.
I think it's
Dave,
Last Wish, not Last Witch.
No, The Last Wish. That is
okay.
okay. Just go, Dave. Just go. These fucking these Witcher wannabes out here. Okay.
So yeah, and then I finished I finally finished Cyberpunk. It was okay. Like the ending was good.
Which ending?
I got I had all the endings available to me except for the secret one. Because I didn't say the right fucking thing in the graveyard or some shit.
I had that happen too. I had to go back and do it.
No, I didn't fucking care. But I decided to do the Arasaka ending. That felt justified to me. So that was a good. Like a lot of people are like, oh, that's a bad ending. It's like it felt like because I played Corpo in that game, right? So it felt like
I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, it's definitely arguably or objectively, it's one of the worst endings because it's It's fucking depressing.
Yeah, but you know that's the way it should go. And I checked
Yeah.
the statistics for it, and it's like 4% of the people who played the game got it, which is like one of the more rare achievements to get. And I was like, what?
Cyberpunk 2020 rulebook is literally the sidebars are the story of Johnny sticking it to Arasaka. Arasaka is continuously presented as the main villain, and like what's Rogue and I might just be talking about X-Men now. All of Johnny's team are presented as heroes and legends, and Johnny is portrayed as the good guy, although clearly a man willing to nuke a city.
The whole story of Alt Cunningham is basically the sidebars of the original 2020 book.
Yep. I mean, it ends with Johnny holding Alt's dead body, going, "No, Alt must be dead! Damn you, Arasaka!" Ah! And they kind of retconned it a little bit. It still goes kind of that way, but.
So did you ever read Cyber Generation?
No.
Yes.
Cyber Generation was a spin-off RPG in which Alt Cunningham as an AI in the Matrix started.
You told me about that.
Yeah, awakening children with superpowers.
Oh, James, did you ever play the Vampire the Masquerade Cyberpunk game?
No, I don't think I did. No.
That was a strange one. Yeah, it's literally the VTM system, but like Cyberpunk, but also still had vampires.
It does sound odd.
You
That
can
doesn't
make
sound-
a vampire in Cyberpunk. You don't need to add vampires to it. They literally have fangs called vampires. You can fly and project darkness around you. These are all cyberwares.
I'm literally telling you, there's a VTM. Sorry, not VTM.
But I'm saying you don't need Vampire the Masquerade to be a vampire in Cyberpunk.
But then here's the thing: they did the reverse as well for Cyberpunk, where you can play like a VTM game in Cyberpunk. Like they did the flip flop. It was weird.
Who wins, Vampire or Sandevistan? You decide.
Ooh.
I mean, you can have actual vampires in the Shadowrun.
Yeah. I think the vampire still wins there, Arthur.
I don't
100%.
listen. I don't want to encounter any Shadowrun vampires. All right, I'm a 40-ish-year-old trying to get retired mechanic by the name of Coach Mario Bratic, who's on his first cyber job with the actual legend of the Middle East. I'm just trying to make enough money for retirement and to open up that artisanal Chicago pizza shop that I've always wanted. I don't want to fucking fight vampires. I want to steal cars, just like my man Nick Cage in Gone in 60 Seconds.
All right. What is your favorite Nicolas Cage movie, Arthur?
Gone in 60 Seconds.
Really? That's it?
It has always and probably will forever be. I'm sad because...
what about the one where you can see a minute into the future?
No, that's a stupid
Next.
one.
Is it called Next? Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. What about the one where he it's a Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff?
That's new.
And he
That
doesn't
one
say-
came out
he
like
doesn't-
last
new
year.
one. Yeah, he doesn't say
He doesn't
anything.
doesn't say anything in the whole.
He just beats the shit out of all the animatronics.
It's actually stupidly good. Can I say that? Like I've seen it. It's
Is it?
Yeah. It's
I
like
wanted-
everyone's just like, "Why are you still here? You're gonna die!" And he's just like, gets the mop and just starts moving the floor.
I wanted to believe in the stealing the Declaration of Independence movies, except the second one was really bad because at the end of the second one, they're like, sure, you tried to kill us, and sure, you did it because you didn't want it to be revealed that your family were Confederate traitors, and you're still a Confederate traitor. But, you know, long story short, this movie's taught us that we're friends now. Go die for us. And now they're making I can't remember the name of the series, but they're making us steal the Declaration.
National Treasure.
They're making a National Treasure. I thought it was a movie, but it looks like it's a TV series.
show.
Yeah, it's TV series.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nick Cage is in it. I think it's
No, he's
just
not.
all of the side actors from National Treasure show up and are like, "Oh, I'm Nick Cage's dad. I'm an angry guy. Here's how I saved the president, I guess."
Yeah, I don't know how well it's gonna.
It's not gonna be good, Pondo. I'm gonna be honest. If you haven't seen National Treasure 2, I'm gonna guess it's probably not even gonna be as good as that. Which ends with a Confederate apologist choosing to die.
I've seen both National Treasure movies.
The second one is really bad.
The
first one is good. The first one is solid. I'd say it's a really great Nick Cage movie, but you already know my opinion is that if Nick Cage is stealing something,
listen, Gunny can bring in the real
Hocus
Pocus sequel, dude.
I guess.
Hell yeah.
That's out now, isn't it?
It is on Disney Plus. Yeah.
I feel like that's just more a boomer nostalgia shit. You know, they're doing the Willow re-release, they're doing Hocus Pocus re-release, Dark Crystal re-release. I'm sorry, I'm not invested in any of these products. What I want is Loki season 2, and I want it to be good. I don't want it to be bad. It's clear now we're never going to get a WandaVision season 2. That shit's never happening. Like, Wanda's off the fucking deep end.
Yeah, I don't know that we're going to get any season 2s of these.
They said Loki was going to return, but you know, who knows?
But I mean, he'll be in another movie at some point, maybe.
But it's not even the same Loki now. We're varying it out.
Yeah.
All right. I'll even take alligator Loki, man. I'll take an alligator Loki spinoff. Yeah. I'm not even talking about a full movie, like a 30-minute, just the adventures of alligator Loki doing like weird chaos magic and illusion shit, and everyone just treats him as if he's human. No one ever questions that like there's an alligator sitting in a train seat, like taking up 4 seats on a bench. No one ever mentions or questions it at all.
It's like that meme where like Odin's saying you're my son, and it's got confused alligator noises.
That's what I want. This is the 30-minute spinoff that I want. I will also accept old crazy yellow Loki who does like the really sick shit. Mm-hmm. I would accept a prequel like 30-minute for him as well. There's a lot of Loki stories we can tell.
What do you think about the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie?
Deadpool 3?
Yeah.
I wanted Deadpool 1 to be MCU. I wanted Deadpool 2 to be MCU. We're finally going to get a Deadpool MCU. All I can hope is that it's yes, I agree with that. Marvel has been disappointing post Endgame, and it's been sliding. It's actually getting worse.
I don't know. I liked the Rings one, the Kung Fu one. That was fun.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah, Shang-Chi was good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shang-Chi was solid.
They've been like they haven't been consistent like home runs though. Like you know you're getting a couple base to use a baseball analogy.
Well, the thing about
you're getting a couple base hits and like a double or two.
Shang-Chi sets itself apart from all of the other Marvel properties in the last 7 years. Yeah. It's not because it's Kung Fu. It's because there hasn't been that good of serious fighting action sequences since Captain America Winter Soldier. Because they brought back the fight director for Captain America Winter Soldier. All the martial arts moves, all that shit. There isn't anything like that in any of their Marvel movies. It's basically just like people throwing really wide punches or throwing shields or throwing hammers or lightning bolts and shit.
There's a lot of superpowers.
Shang-Chi has like this weird incest subplot and like all sorts of bizarre shit going on. And don't look at me like that. He and his aunt did the same dance that his parents did.
Okay, yeah.
Give me a break, man. I was like, what the fuck is going on here, man? And then, like, is his dad the villain or is he not the villain? Like, it was confusing. There were values exposed there that I don't agree with at all. Like, it was a very Chinese philosophy-based film. And there were a lot of it I didn't agree about. There's a lot of stuff that was super bizarre. And then there was some really cool shit, like Benedict Wong beating the shit out of people in a cage match. And there was really, really good action sequences that we haven't seen since then and barely had seen before then. If Shang-Chi comes back, I'm hoping that shit is still tight as fuck, because if there's one thing we don't need, it's Iron Fist Season 3. That's all I'm saying.
Although, if you're watching She-Hulk, there's an Easter egg That makes me really excited.
For Daredevil?
Yep.
Oh, I heard
other
that's
stuff.
going to be good.
Yeah, and other stuff. But
She-Hulk really grew on me. The first episode, I hated.
it's good, man.
There are
It's good. I
occasionally
like it.
parts of She-Hulk that I'm just like, nope, I hate this part. They really need to stop taking shots at Bruce Banner. Like, please stop making him your punching bag every single fucking time.
Have you seen the memes where they compare it to, like, you know,
Ally McBeal.
female characters written by males and female characters written by females? It's just like this fucking, oh god, there's so many, like, I feel like everyone's dunking on that show, and I'm never gonna watch it because
She-Hulk?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's better than I thought it would be.
Okay.
I would say it's watchable in a way that I would no longer say. For instance, I think WandaVision at this point is now a waste of time. There's no reason to watch WandaVision now.
How can you sit through She-Hulk, but you won't sit through Cyberpunk?
I thought you were going to say Star Citizen.
Can you sit through it now? Is it playable?
No.
Yeah, I mean, yes, actually, it is playable. Yes,
it's
you
very
If you can
can.
get 50 people in the orbit of one planet for 20 minutes, that's a solid.
Don't listen to Arthur.
Has it been worth waiting the 10 years and figuring out what are they doing with my money?
You're not waiting for 10 years. Like you're consistently like it's been a playable game for like the last 7 years.
So it should be noted that this is a backer talking over here. I'm going to drop on you a little piece of Reddit knowledge that I like, which is where there was this really great video about 6 months ago where a dude was doing Nape of the Earth, flying a spacecraft, like real close, real tight gulch runs. It was very impressive. It all looked incredibly well animated. It was very stable. It was like, what if Star Wars, but modern day? And people in the comments, like the top comment was like, oh, wow, this looks so amazing. It's incredible. And there were like a bunch of supporting comments. Everything below that is, this guy has been playing Star Citizen since release. This is Star Citizen. And this is the only thing he does is fly this run 20 times a day for like 4 hours to make it look this good. And everyone was like, oh, so this is their progress. You can do one trench run. For me, that will always be the quintessential argument. It can look good, and you can be very skilled at it in one trench run on one planet.
I mean,
I know, I've seen Matt Colville's stuff, and he's done some cool stuff with it, but the game is nowhere near complete. It's nowhere near done. And the benchmark that they set for themselves have been easily blasted past by all of their competitors for a solid decade.
Look, man, if I'm making $500 million, that game is staying in development forever.
Yes,
I'm sorry,
it is staying in development forever. They have no reason to ever launch that game. They
exactly.
make so much money.
They make so much money, so there's no reason to do it.
What do you consider Squadron 42 to be then?
I have no idea. Squadron 42 is the other game mode, right? It's completely separate.
It's
got Mark Hamill in it, right?
It's the it's a single player campaign, basically.
Okay, I don't know enough about it to comment. I'm sorry. All I know are meme videos I watch where Star Citizen gets dunked on.
And that is why you have the opinion that you do have.
Sure. I also have been watching its development since the very beginning and watch it grow to a $500 million bloat.
But this is also the guy that likes She-Hulk, so this.
Well, you got anything else, Dave? We're way late on this.
Yeah,
we're 20 minutes past normal.
I mean, my intro is going to be, all right, cool, I'm ready to play.
James, what do you got?
All right, cool, I'm ready to play.
That would have been awesome.
I'll be quick though. So my only things is that I've been playing a few games recently. I have started my second playthrough of Cyberpunk 2077. I have been playing Sorry?
Monowire?
No. I haven't gotten to the point yet where I'm going the hacker path. I'm going the hacker path this time.
James, maybe you should hold off because the 1.7 patch for that game is apparently going to change everything.
February though, isn't it? I thought it was February. It's coming out.
Is it? I thought it was in a couple of months or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing the now enhanced edition of Wrath of the Righteous. And I've also been playing Hardspace Shipbreaker now that the campaign is finished. So I can play through.
What's the enhanced edition of Wrath of the Righteous do?
So it's a couple of quality of life improvements. It adds some extra content.
Because the enhanced edition for Divinity was fucking insane because it made it all voiced, right?
I think it's like that. It has got additional. It's got additional content in the game, like more quests. It's got more stuff added to the ending. And the other thing, it added console support, so you can now play on consoles or use a console controller on the PC. I don't know why you would, especially because Kingmaker was so terrible on consoles. But
it's that Steam Deck integration. That's why.
Yeah, and then I was saying Hard Space Shipbreaker, trying to finish that now that you can finish it. And then I actually played some 40k yesterday. Mate and I decided to play. Both of us pick a faction we never played. So I played Word Bearers. He played Drakari Covens, and I won the game. But it was pretty tight, so it was fun for us to both sort of experiment with stuff we didn't really know.
But you had armies fully painted and ready to go for both.
So I was literally about to say that, James. Is that no. And in 3 months we will fight each other to see who's better.
We use TTS to do it.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Never mind then.
Yeah, that's it. So.
But knowing James, he hand painted in Blender all of the models.
That'd be very easy.
Lovingly sculpted and colored all the models. And
there's not enough triangles here.
So James is about to tell us that he just purchased an army now, right, James?
I will probably. I have enough fun with the Word Bearers. I will probably. I have actually had most of the stuff in my pile of shame. I could put it together. I think I have to buy one thing to play what I played with yesterday. So.
And how much is the one thing going to cost you?
$1,400. It's a fully articulable Titan with radio control.
No, actually, I think I have everything. So I used Dark Apostle, which I have spare, Sorcerer, which I have spare, Legionaries I have spare, Coldest Mob I have spare, Terminators I have spare, Possessed I have spare, Defiler I have spare. No, everything I used yesterday, I have. There's like in my pile of shame, I could easily build yesterday's Word Bearers army and paint it up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but he was like he played with ItmeGP and all that stuff. Jeff something, I forget his.
You mean In Control?
In Control.
Jeff Robinson.
The only thing I really remember about that man outside of his role playing stuff was that one day he was just like, I bought this fucking
the Titan
Warhammer model that I can't use ever because it's like
it cost him thousands of dollars and it was like $500 to get it painted. He was a world-class Custodes player.
Yeah, I know that he played a lot, but like the thing I remember most about like just that stuck out whenever I hear James being like, yeah, I need to buy one thing, and then it's like, yep, it's a 12-foot model.
I watched a YouTube video of the other day of a painter who traded. He started out with a 10-cent goblin miniature and traded it up to, or he's in the process of trading it up to
a Lamborghini
Imperator class Titan, which is like a $2,000 mini. So,
is he going to trade that one for a Lamborghini though?
I don't know what he's going to do with that one.
Okay.
I love those shows. People try to do the whole trade up thing.
Yeah,
it only works on television.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is that he's, trading within his own, with his community of people who watch his videos.
Yeah.
But like,
I mean, I watched one of those things where it's like, someone trading from they wanted to get like a 16-wheeler rig for somebody whose truck had crashed, and they started off with like a lawn chair. But and they managed to trade all the way through it, the 16-wheeler truck. But at the same time, they flew or drove all over the United States, spending probably thousands of dollars on travel and accommodation.
Where you could have just spent all that money to buy the 60. Yeah.
But they made a YouTube video out of it, which probably got them back.
I always remember that line from Firefly. But the stories, Mal.
Yeah,
stories.
I've never seen
my life is not very fun. That,
but I know how that ends because of the joke.
I've seen the movie, but not the TV series.
What the fuck? In what calculable universe would you watch the movie but not the series?
I mean, I watched the movie first, and then I went back and watched the TV series.
I've seen the movie twice and not watched the series.
Jesus Christ, it's Firefly.
I've also seen the movie and not seen the series.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I want
remember
to
that, but
vomit
it's fine.
blood right now.
Because the odd thing is, if I go watch series, like, oh yeah, that guy totally died.
That's so. It's fine. Fucking watch it. Jesus Christ.
What is the joke? How do you clean a spear? You put it through the
You
wash.
put it through the wash.
Yeah.
The better joke was when people kept asking Joss Whedon what it would take to restart the series, and he goes, "Well, it'll start with a conversation between Wash and Book, two characters who are dead."
So I will say I'm in a 3-day weekend in Australia. Well, it's in my state, not the whole country. My state has a long weekend, so I'm looking forward to playing some Generic Fantasy Adventure tomorrow on my day off. But I'm also using this weekend to finally build a remote control car for one of my sons, since I built one for the other son, and now I'm building it for the
Meccano.
son.
It's a great time to
No,
get into
it's
Firefly.
Tamiya. It's Tamiya. So
James, do you get a king's birthday and a queen's birthday now? What's the story there?
So the old day that was the Queen's birthday will now be called the King's birthday. It's the same all on the same date, yeah. Which is different in every state. You know, it's not at all connected to the monarch's birthday at all. It's just a holiday which is called the monarch's birthday.
Do they have the races still?
Not even by the races.
Well,
Like they have like the cup, the horse cup or whatever.
The
Which
Melbourne
is
Cup.
also a holiday.
Yeah,
Is it-
well, the
is it
Melbourne
just-
Melbourne Cup's only a holiday in Victoria, and that's on next month. So anyway,
thank
Mel-
God,
Mel-
Spoon. Someone fucking knows.
all right. So did Spoon actually do an intro? Or he's just
I said, I'm all right. I'm ready to play.
Our
Okay,
intros
cool.
just fucking meshed together here.
Yeah.
It was a fucking disaster. Generic
Yeah.
fantasy adventure has ruined intros for
Yeah,
me.
did I say 3 games left? I meant 5 games left at this pace. No.
Arthur, if you did a better people management, we would be able to get through
My better
intros.
people management, Dave, would be to skip your intro.
No. You gotta make us.
You've told us that you intentionally extend intros like 20 minutes so you'll have something to talk about.
Arthur,
Just do it, James. Just start, please. Start.
Okay. All right. Previously on Rogue Trader, Springs of Fate. Following the battle with the enslaver aboard the Hand, the crew heads to the fortress monastery of High Castle with the Storm Wardens. The group watches as former ward master of the Storm Wardens, Owen Glenweir, is awakened from stasis and then learns about the involvement of the Storm Wardens in the Nemesis incident and its ties to the Tyrant Star. Returning to the Hand, the group encounters the Harlequins once more, who spin a tale of the history of the universe and the deception wrought by the enslavers to ensure that the current cycle is repeated continually, fleeing their plans to invade the modern universe. Androchiron reaches out to and finds the cursed assassin Leave, learning her story but then determining her to be a threat to the Lord Captain. Androchiron escapes this encounter with his life. Set on the path forward, the crew departs for Reth, seeking the talisman that will be required to activate the Blind Tesseract. Thought for the day: innocence masks the quintessence of horror. You right there, Arthur?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it really Androchiron left his life, or was like she's just like, I'm gonna let him live?
She generously decided not to murder him.
Yeah.
Easily.
I'm limited on bullets. I don't want to waste on this guy.
So the Hand has just emerged from the warp in the Reth system. The planet itself is a beautiful turquoise color. It's like a giant archipelago. So beautiful crystal blue seas with multiple islands. A lot of ships in orbit, like probably about a dozen ships at some sort of anchor above the planet, mostly merchant ships and the like. As soon as the Hand does translate, the Vox operator does let you know that one of the ships is transmitting like a secured IFF. Effectively, it's broadcasting to any other inquisitorial ships that it is under the command of the Inquisition. Other ships that don't have the inquisitorial protocols wouldn't pick this up. Your ship doesn't transmit this all the time. It is actively broadcasting, I'm under the command of the Inquisition, so that other inquisitorial vessels arriving know this.
The planet we just came to?
Breath.
Right.
Yes.
Let's get
Yeah. They know the secret inquisitorial handshake. You know, it's not just a shake. Then you got to do the boom, and then the boom, and then
the planet's under the inquisitorial.
No, not the planet, just a ship.
A
The
single ship.
that's in orbit.
Yes.
Although you can assume that if the Inquisition has a ship in orbit, the planet probably also under inquisitorial.
I bet you it's that that cell like 17 or whatever it was back
Oh,
on
Jesus Christ.
back
Okay.
on Sinopia.
Before we get started here, I just want to ask a couple of questions.
Okay.
First, we are all aware that because we know about the true nature of the
Enslavers.
blind tesseract.
Oh, blind tesseract.
We know
Okay.
about the true nature of the blind tesseract, and we know a bunch of things about the enslavers, and we know that Pierre may not be the last Harlequin and last Harlock. Right? We know that the Harlock gene essence is out there, and the Inquisition could make more Harlocks at any moment.
Mhm.
The enslavers don't know that.
No.
So we cannot allow any of the members of our party to be captured or mind controlled at any point. We have to be willing to commit suicide, although in Dawn's case, that's ultimately a useless and laughable gesture, but at least it'll let her go somewhere other than being captured. The second thing is, what purpose do the Aldari and Talon Balewing serve us at this moment? If
So
our plan is to take a fragment of the Last Scion and imprison it, we don't need them, and we definitely don't need him.
So Talon Bale, the Harlequins have said that Talon Balewing is like prophesied to basically die, getting us to the blind tesseract.
Correct. We also know that the Harlequins are trying to manipulate us and have lied to us repeatedly.
Yeah, but if they're like, yeah, he's gonna, and look, man, we've killed 3 greater demons. I don't think Avatar of Caleb and Chicane is gonna be much of a challenge for Dawn.
I just don't think that we need to include them anymore at this point, and we
I
definitely
have
don't.
no idea what those things are that you just said. And
He's gonna be a big,
basically
scary god.
a piece of a god isn't gonna be a challenge for Dawn.
Hey man, is every single level 8 character like this in this game, or is it just
No, it's just you. Like,
Maybe Nero, but also you.
Yeah, I'll say I'm okay if I roll well on my punches, but
I need to be straightforward with you. Also, I knew going in that melee was king at the highest levels, and that Nero would. He reached his
Taper
peak
off.
pretty quickly, and he can sit there with his shoulder-mounted rocket launcher, and that's about it. Like, you get into melee with Nero, and he's suddenly very useless, which is why he learned the jump boots.
I think you would just still done all right.
Yeah, I mean, I tried 15 different things in order to get multiple guns.
I
in melee,
remember we walked into a room and James was like, okay, literally every square inch of this place is filled with a human being that wants to kill you. And you're just like...
I'm glad people remember I did that.
You're in this room. You are surrounded. Have fun.
I remember James was like, we're going to go into the mines underneath the Glass Queen's factory area. There's a big bad demon there. And Nero was just like, okay, I act first and I kill him.
Yeah.
But here's the other thing that happened, right? And then it came to Dawn's turn, and Dawn was like, okay, I swing my sword once.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying is now we've reached the part where Nero can't do that anymore.
yeah. Well,
and
Nero
Dawn
goes.
could just be like, all right, I dodged 15 times, I yawn, and then I slash once, and you explode with holy power.
Yeah,
Nero was close when he got the man-portable las cannon. That's what allowed you to just one-shot something and not really care. It's like, I don't care about blast radius. I don't need it.
All right, we're super diverted. I just want it known. We don't need to keep the Eldari in the loop anymore. And we definitely don't need Talon Balewing at all. I feel like including him could put us on a path where the Eldari want that prophecy to be true, right? Their Fate Weavers have been pushing that particular storyline forward. They want that line of fate to be true, and that doesn't mean that we want that line to be true. They're like, here are 3 options: the Corsair, the Talon Balewing, and then the Sage, who's now like a mecha dude, right? We don't need any of those motherfuckers. One of them isn't alive. The second one also technically not really alive anymore, but we don't need them. Our plan is really straightforward. We're going to take a little piece of a super tank and we're going to put it into a fucking prison, and that should solve all of our problems. The enslavers will still be there, but they won't be able to use it.
Here's my counter to that.
All right,
is
hit me with it.
So we are pulling a very large sled, right? It's very heavy.
Yeah.
They're pulling it in a slightly different direction, like just a little bit off to the right, but we're mostly going the same way.
I agree with you.
And
I
this
just need
sled
you
is
to
very
recognize.
heavy.
I just need you to recognize that this is a diplomacy game, and when
Yeah.
I don't need to go right anymore, I am going to
we're
mow
gonna-
down all the dogs that are trying to go to the right,
Yep.
and I'm going to cut their lines so they aren't
We're on
dragging the sled anymore.
Yeah, we're on the same
I
page.
don't need
there.
a front dog named Tail on Balewing after a certain point.
Yes, correct.
Ultimately, I think that no one knows what's fuck's going to go on now because now we've like
I
went off
agree with
script
you.
by
I
far.
just want to make sure that we don't fall for any James's bullshit where he walks us down a path where we walk unknowingly and we just do the Eldari thing and then we get the Eldari ending and he's like, why did you guys believe everything the Eldari said and do everything the Eldari wanted you to do? You just followed the path I as a game master laid out for you. I want us to be cognizant that that is a path we absolutely should not go on. James will try to make us go on that path. And when that happens, we need to begin chopping heads off.
Okay.
Nero
What's
isn't
going
here
on?
anymore. We need some punches. We need some blades. We need mind daggers, telekinesis, whatever we got. At
What
some
is going
point,
on in this
Tail on
Shadowrun
Balewing
game that you
equals
guys
dead.
are doing? Because MP sounds paranoid.
Yeah, we've literally only done character creation.
What has happened?
I don't know, man. Well, so here's what happened. It wasn't even in the shot. It's in this game. AB is seeing webs within webs now because James psyched him out once.
It's just all sorts
He's
of
like that girl with the mathematics meme going.
Yeah.
Tell
you
me
know,
I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong about anything I just said.
I mean, I don't think you are. So
I don't
I'm
think
right.
you're wrong, but I also don't know if you're right. So it's kind of
Even if I was wrong, I'm not wrong to warn us to be waiting for James to start. James knows that he can just lull us into a false sense of security to follow his plots because he's done that the whole We're on the 3rd season of him doing that for us. We just believe what he says rather than investigating deeper. Why was everyone mind controlled? We automatically assumed it was the Last Scion, but it wasn't. He'll take us down those paths
that
and
ain't
he'll
on
never
me.
revisit it. And that's fine as a game master. Maybe we should have noticed, maybe we shouldn't have, but we know he will do that. He will use our ignorance and our lack of investigation against us. We need to be hyper vigilant now for James to take those dogs and lead us slightly to the right because we want to go to Imperium Town, okay? We don't want to go to Elf Town.
yeah, our plan is to trap the Last Scion in this prison.
or get him to shut down the prison.
Yeah,
He's-
it doesn't matter who goes in the prison. What matters is that the prison is locked away forever.
Or destroyed,
I don't think we have the capability to do that.
probably. But
The Scion will do whatever he feels like.
All right.
well, the Scion's going to get locked in prison with this thing.
As long as
Yeah.
we are all on the same page now, James, please continue.
Well,
You're doing great. You're running a great game, James. I want to say you're the only person to let Game Master for me because I'm very particular about who I let on my show to Game Master. You're doing a great job. Excellent. Fuck you, James.
Well, I've set the scene. You're in space. There's a planet
yeah.
in front of you with other ships and a little sort of ping. We're in position. Ping.
All right.
We're in
Okay,
position.
so first thing I would say would be to hail the ship that is claimed to be held by the Inquisition. But some reason is pinging itself saying, "Hey, Inquisition here." Super secret
So-
organization. It's not so secret.
Right, but only
Yes.
inquisitorial ships can pick up that ping.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I missed that part. I heard the okay.
So I guess the question is going to be if you want to hail them, are you going to also send a confirmation that you're here in Inquisition, or are you just hailing them as another ship?
Is that something they could just scan? Like it's like,
No,
oh, this ship.
so like I said, like your system has the ability to send this too, but it's not active all the time. It's not always not always.
Yeah, I don't press the
they-
button all the time unless I need it. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
but they have chosen to alert people to the fact that they're an Inquisition ship. Or alert
as an
Inquisitors.
agent should if I was really one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to hail that, and I'll not If he contacts me, sure. But as far as that goes, I just hail the plan to see if we can get somewhere to land.
Okay, no problem. So you hail the planet itself. So the Vox operator takes care of all this stuff. They identify that you're given a position at high anchor. Given your prestige, there is a request that the planetary governor, Jedediah DeCall, would like to actually, meet with you and greet you and welcome you to Reth. Probably wants to find out why you're here as well.
Damn, I should have been a nobody. Okay, that's fine.
Well, Governor, we're here looking for a very secret talisman to lead us to the secret space prison.
And for the legacy of the
Listen, I just want to be back in Imperium for a little bit. I got tired of the Places sector. I want my peace.
Well, we're never going back there.
Is actually a really good reason, right? That Reth is on the border.
Actually, yeah. Well, it's Reth is a
pleasure.
What kind of world? Yeah. I was saying,
Yeah,
it's like a paradise planet, right?
Yeah, absolutely. This is Nero's dream that the crew would one day have shore leave.
I was literally like,
you did get shore leave like a season ago.
The crew gets shore leave.
Yeah, I gave crew shore leave.
The crew got brought down to Quintus. There was
exactly.
Like some time. Yeah.
How long ago was that in a timeline, Pondo?
Probably a year or two.
You think the crew likes having shore leave once a year? Are they fucking Davy Jones now?
They're lucky to get that shore leave. What are you talking about?
Oh my god.
One day on the shore for 10 years at sea.
What do you want from me?
I'm just saying, it's a good cover.
It is a good cover.
Notwithstanding, the planetary governor would like to meet with you.
Okay.
Planetary governor always wants to meet with him, and they're always secretly evil or mind controlled by aliens. This is not the first time, James. I'm on to you now.
You're just like super. Where did all this paranoia just finally it just built up, and now it's getting released?
The last 2 episodes, Pondo. That's where they came from.
There was a couple times where the leader was manipulative, or was able to be manipulated, I should say, because he got all that drugs.
Personally executed at least one of them.
That was one of my guys, though. That was the unfortunate part. But no, I get set up the meeting. I go meet him, and I'll do a favor to everybody else since Nero's not here, and set up time for shore leave for those guys.
Yeah, no problem. So a montage of ships leaving the hand later. I'm assuming that Spoon flies you down to meet with the planetary governor.
Yeah, personal gun cutter.
No problem. Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's actually quite a spectacular sort of planet, like gubernatorial palace. Although, give me common law war rolls. Those of you that have got it.
Why do I feel like I don't have that when I should?
And he joins Roll20. Let's take a look.
I was going to make a joke and ask you to make a perception check as soon as we started, Dave, but.
Would it help
those
to
are easy.
know
It's
that
like I make the check and I fail.
would it help to know that I'm actually working right now while I'm listening to you guys do this?
Well, I did notice that you had a very clicky keyboard before. You were doing some heavy typing, and
you said common law war.
War.
Okay, I don't have that. I have Tactica Imperialis, but no. I think I gave up getting knowledge.
Sorry, did you say
he got his?
What did you say?
War.
The warp or
No,
war?
War. WAR.
Okay. Yeah. No, I don't know.
Right. Okay, nice. All right. So, Spoon and Adrian Androchiron, like, you know how you can, like, monumental sort of buildings often have like scaffolding up on them where they're doing repairs or maintenance and such. You can see a bit of that, and the two of you can tell that this building has been the past location of conflict. Maybe not super recent, but like, let's say within the past few years. It's mainly small arms fire from the ground, so not like a space battle, but just probably tank shells or small arms fire on the building, and it's slowly being restored. Although the parts that are being restored are not being restored in quite as ostentatious way as the Gothic crenellations and gem-studded walls that were in the other parts of it. But when you land on the landing bay, there is a man waiting there for you. Looks to be probably late 40s. Very sort of conservative coat, like a coat of station, but not overly interesting or just plain color with his sort of he's probably got the big medal that sometimes mayors whatever have that is like a something of office,
the chain of office.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, with like Pisner's glasses, like the glasses that sit right on the nose.
Ooh, I hate this guy.
Sorry,
I hate this guy.
Okay, yeah. And he's waiting for you with his hands clasped behind his back.
The only thing that could make him worse is if he had awarded himself military medals.
Or if he goes in for the double-handed handshake.
Well, that just means he's evil, but we're also evil, so that would just be unsurprising. I don't hate characters that do the double-handed handshake. Let me be clear here. Palpatine does the double handshake, okay?
What about the double handshake where you pull it toward you?
That's weak. Weak men do that.
I will point out, Lord Commodore, this building has seen signs of conflict in the last 5 years, which is odd for a paradise planet.
Androchiron is listening to Apple Bottom Jeans on some sort of like Vox. He just nods to assent that Adrian's right.
Yeah. You're gonna go full Scion and start working with like a smoothie as well.
I don't know if I want to go that far, but it would be a good transition to eating real food.
All right. So when you come out, he doesn't go to shake hand. He bows. He does like a respectful bow, and then when he identifies Thorne's armor as being Adeptus Sororitas, he makes like the sign of the Aquila and bows to Thorne as well. Lord Captain,
not so secret handshake.
Yes. Jedediah de Call. I am the planetary governor, as indicated. Please come in. I wanted to talk to you before you and your crew settle down to your leave on rest.
Androchiron hits the stop button on his Walkman because this is 40K. That's the level of tech he's allowed to use. He hands over the gift basket.
Yes, the famed gift basket. You have to make Adrian carry it.
I thank you, but I'm afraid I can't accept this as a administration official on the planet. It would be unseemly for me to accept gifts or gratuities.
My God, this guy has actually read the government handbook prohibiting him from accepting gifts over $25. That's okay.
And he's following it.
I lean forward and I say, this gift basket is valued at $24.99 USD.
What's USD? He says.
USD's nuts.
So I think at this
You're
point,
welcome.
Pierre's just like impressed and was like, I feel like I should hire this guy.
He's too non-corrupt for you to hire. He's the opposite.
Yes. All right.
I don't know. I'd give him a dental plan or something like that. Like that's how you get those guys.
He's the governor of an imperial world. Okay.
So as you walk through, like there's clearly signs that like a lot of internal work has been done as well. There's been signs of internal fighting as well, and gilded statues and expensive portraits are being pulled down, and instead aquilas and symbols of faith are being put up instead of their place. Everything is being done that can be to sort of downtone this place from a place of opulence into a place of worship.
So this place is being converted from a. Okay.
Yeah.
I see what's going on here.
Yes. He leads you into a meeting room. Very, sparsely played out. Probably some plain food on the table. Everything about this guy screams plain, non-assuming.
It's a perfect imperial citizen. This is too good.
Before we sit down, I say, Sister Dawn did not introduce herself, so you may not know that she's also a living saint.
I apologize, but I didn't realize. It is our honor to welcome you here to Reth, to the gubernatorial palace. He based himself before you, pretty much.
You don't need to do any of this. Like, I turned to Endikar and I was like, look, announcing it is not always necessary, okay? It kind of... Sometimes I just want to be...
That's going in the notebook. The Chronicles, the Canticles of Androchiron.
So modest. So...
But it's going to be Adrian who fucks up. And...
Sometimes I do not want to announce myself. People will contemplate that on 100 worlds for 1,000 years.
Is this like a book that you're writing about yourself?
Yes, I'm writing the history of everything you've ever seen. You're a living saint. I'm chronicling.
Yeah, he's writing your autobiography.
The Canticles of Androchiron.
Yeah, but it's like
but it's named
eyes,
it's named about himself.
It's like, does anyone complain about Luke naming it the Gospel according to Luke? Jesus goes in the fucking Bible. What are you worried about?
The fact that you're declaring that you're writing a Bible for yourself.
I'm writing a Bible about you!
So anyway, here's how I found Jesus.
I apologize about the works outside. There's been a period of turmoil on Reth in the past, and we're moving past that now. I guess I should explain that my family, the Cowles, have long lived on Reth. We have been highly representative of the PDF forces and Magisterium on this planet. Unfortunately, I and my brothers saw a rampant corruption taking place. This world is a pleasure world, and unfortunately, that has led to a general degradation in the piety of the citizenry. Although the version of the imperial cult which exists here has some variations, it is accepted by the ecclesiarchy in general, but over time we began to fear that it was straying too far apart. So we led a coup, which has since been sanctioned following our victory over the former planetary governor, and I now seek to restore the appropriate amount of piety and respect in this population that is true of an imperial world. I needed to make that clear before you brought your crew down, because I feel that many trader crews might come here expecting a land of unfrivolous debauchery, and that's not what Reth is now. We are working through the problems with drug abuse, with crime. Reth is still a beautiful planet and has a lot of incredible vistas that really teach us the importance of the Imperium that the God Emperor sacrificed his mortal life for. But they need to be enjoyed in a pious and understanding way and not given to excess. I hope this won't be a problem for you or your crew.
I lean in next to
Oh, it
Pierre.
shouldn't be a problem at all. And then Pierre's gonna go whisper to Androchiron, tell them to cancel the shore leave.
Sir, this is what's called negotiating against yourself. He's making the world less attractive to a rogue trader crew because he is stupid. I say it in Rogue Trader Can, of course.
Okay. Nice.
Then I will immediately...
Which is just Pig Latin, really.
Of course. I'll text or, vox quietly as possible to, cancel the... Wait, did you say cancel the shore leave or cancel, the party part of the shore leave? I forgot already because I wanted to say
cancel the shore leave.
All right, yeah, I voxed the ship to tell them to cancel the shore leave.
Okay.
We'll have to
nice.
explain it later, I suppose.
All right, I'm going to take 1d10 morale off his ship. That's all right.
No, I'll accept that. I'll take it. Listen, I promised shore leave. I canceled it. I don't even think I would
Yeah, but
expect
if you
at least
told them
D5.
why you canceled it, it would probably go over pretty well.
Yeah,
everybody was lined up in the shuttle bay with their like floating thing on. Yeah.
Hawaiian shirts, like coconut cup, like with the umbrellas. Like,
listen, I'll accept minus 1d5 after explaining it. Okay, I understand. This is false promises. Yes. So it seems like you've been doing quite well then. Everything seems to be shifting over quite, I would say, relatively smoothly.
It's that we're not without our problems, but yeah, I can let you know what areas of the planet, what islands your crew will get the most enjoyment out of without having to witness any of the civil unrest that the PDF and Magisterium are dealing with.
And how are you handling the nobles? Or the business owners, I should say.
Well, so we do have a noble class here. I mean, my family, we were one of the noble lines. Well, a lot of them do commit their forces to the PDF. Look, I will admit there have been some arrests in the interest of maintaining civil order. Others have chosen to toe the line, and with the help of the look, I understand I am an extreme, and so with the help of the ecclesiarchy, we've asserted a line of acceptable moral behavior that is probably beyond what I would normally go to, but much further from what the populace previously had.
any asset seizures, compounds that have been taken and
only insofar. So we don't really have much of a tithe, but where there are elements of tithing required, if arrest would lead to the failure of that family to maintain for example, their manpower tithe, then that their resources have to be nationalized. Yes, until such time as their legal matter is resolved on Scintilla.
All right. Androchiron is politely wiping his mouth after finishing the leg of a local fowl and says, by some chance, is there some opportunity for violence as to why you've invited us here? I apologize for my forthrightness, but normally governors invite our crew to come solve their problems, usually with tanks.
No, we are under control. I simply wanted to make sure that you didn't get the wrong impression about what kind of world this is. So when people hear pleasure world, that tends to invoke a certain level of moral impropriety that is not what Reth is today.
This food is excellent, by the way. It's some of the best food I've ever eaten.
That is a very accurate description of what people think of a place.
Some of the
I
only
will give you
food.
that.
We don't tell him that. I'm giving him a compliment, which is true.
I do understand why you've established this crew of yours, so I'll respect it. If you can send a list of acceptable areas for my crew to have their shore leave, because they have been cooped up in there in the ships for too long. They're on their best behavior.
It's going to be
surely he's back on
stage where woman only exposing ankles sways slightly from side to side.
Pretty much.
Saint, I should let you know that there is a small order of Sisters Hospitaller that operate an asylum in one of the islands in the Northern Hemisphere. They are pious and true sisters of the faith.
Is there okay, James, is there a reason why he would be telling me something like this?
Because you're obviously a member of because you're wearing sororitas armor, so he recognizes that they're a part of your order, so to speak.
Okay, so what is he assuming that I want to go see them or something?
He's just letting you know, in case you weren't aware they were.
Oh, okay, all right. I thought it was one of those things where it's just like, well, I mean, you know them, right? Like,
Governor, are there any historical archives on this planet for the history of Wrath?
Indeed. There are archives here in the palace. You're interested in research?
I am interested in imperial history.
Then I will have my staff open them up to you.
I appreciate that.
So for the player's benefit here, I'll just give you the reminder. The reason you got Wrath in the first place was when you were on Sonofia, looking into the various clockwork devices that Harlock had experimented with, you found that at an auction, a man by the name of Dr. Nathaniel Feltz of Wrath had purchased a clockwork item known as the Aurum Auxurum.
Yeah, I was gonna. I remember that, but do you have records of citizens of the planet? I'm trying to see if I can find an old friend that I was told was here.
Yes, we've been conducting a census following the recent conflict to ensure that all the information is readily available.
Excellent. I'd like to look into that as soon as possible.
Please, we'll get a cogitator room set up, and you can use the cogitator there.
Also, if you're in need, I do have some supplies that I can replenish you with, as far as weaponry and etc.
Ammunition,
Designer clothing.
I guess I do have some of that. Yes.
Yeah. Ammunition is what he's probably most interested in buying from you. They've got weapons there, have used a lot of ammunition, and they can't really produce them here.
Do they use auto guns, or are they using las guns?
Las guns. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
What, you
thought
can't
could
just throw them in a
charge
fire and
yeah.
But
But that's not very good for the life of the battery.
It's like you replace the, like, eventually the cells don't charge as well, so it's just updating the gear. And they'll have some solid round stuff as well. They'll have like heavy stubbers, and you mentioned cannons. I think so. Yeah, it's an inconsequential amount of trade can be done here because they don't really.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, James, you can't say that to this crew. I'm talking bobbleheads. I'm talking T-shirts. We're gonna make Wrath great again. We're gonna make it the pleasure world it was always supposed to be.
As long as you think you're raising false idols, we'll see.
That's we have to select our shirts properly.
Androchiron's going to end up in a pillar of green flame.
There's a couple of like shirts and other merchandise that might peak of like, oh, this guy's trying to be the next God Emperor. We got it.
Or Buddy got Emperor with his arm on Pierre's shoulder.
Yeah, that's.
We'll just tell them that's not the God Emperor in there. That's actually Roboku Limand. Close enough.
I mean, that might be slightly better, but I don't know.
He's not back yet, right? He's still dead in the timeline so far.
He's still,
he's still dead.
That's fine. We'll tell them that anyway. He's a
he's
figure.
in stasis.
Yeah. Before we leave, I'm gonna make sure that the governor accepts this gift basket. This crew has never failed to deploy the gift basket. So Androchiron takes the Renka out and says, "This is for you," and then he gestures to the rest of the basket and says, "That's for your family, from the captain to your family."
Yeah. So he accepts it.
Good.
And as you're leaving, you hear him like instructing an aide to set up to auction this off, so then they can then use the funds.
Charity.
We have never failed to deploy a gift basket, and this motherfucker is not going to be the one who blocks us. Okay?
Yeah, that's right. He's just going to regift it.
That's
fine.
He accepted it from us. He's legally responsible. Objective complete, James.
Okay.
Some players, when they go to a new city, they say, "I'm Tiberius Stormwind from Draconia." All right, that's their thing. For us, it's leaving a gift basket in our wake.
Gift basket? Gift basket.
Enchantment?
So you wanted to give me a
Would it be inquiry?
inquiry to try and work out go through the system.
Do I get the +10 from Renown Warrant?
No, the computer doesn't care who you are.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'll reroll that.
You text the computer, do you know who I am?
Don't you know who I am?
And it starts a new database inquiry to look up who he is.
Shit. I need to look up, see if I can. I don't even know if it matters if I could upgrade it anymore, but I'll reroll it.
Okay.
And I'll put,
Was the first search like quotation Lord Captain quotation?
I didn't put it in parentheses. I'll spend another fate point to give it a +10.
Yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Arlock plus Talisman.
Yep, Dr. Daniel Phelps is a citizen of this planet. He apparently is employed in the Asylum of St. Vero.
Ah, okay. So all comes together.
He specializes apparently in rehabilitating psychers that have been damaged but are still deemed to be, recoverable. So he's a clinical psychologist.
That must be one of the top 10 most dangerous jobs in this setting.
It's amazing he's still alive.
After the first
in the 2 years it's taken us to get here.
What do they pay him? Who would willingly undertake this job?
And loyal citizen of the Imperium. That's cool.
Yeah, okay. What if he
Who has
gets
a gun
turned
to the
into a
back of their
frog in the middle of the day just from conversing with the heretic?
What do they pay him in? Not death. That's what they pay him in.
I mean, when we're talking about psychics that have seen demons. We're talking about Simons that have forgotten how to get into a nuncio trance, or we're
okay. It's still very dangerous, but
communicating with a ship when it was destroyed and their mind was linked with somebody who died at the time, that sort of stuff.
Imagine that's a good point, Gunny.
That's a great point. And we should show up at his house with a fully armed gunship just to let him know that we mean business and that he's not backing out of whatever deal. Where's the dragon?
I do like Gunny's suggestion that Pierre sits down first off and types his own name in first to see what they know about him on this planet before he searches for who he's looking for. All right, so I'm gonna. Does the group now want to go to the asylum? Is that the next step?
If that's where we need to go.
I think so. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I think we should go to his house and search for the talisman in his house. I don't want to follow James's railroads anymore, guys. We need to get on the land.
It's probably in his office.
We have to have his home address. You think a guy like this is going to keep it in his office? He's going to keep it in his home and his historical collection. I think we should break into his house. We're in the Imperium. We should just break into his house, commit several crimes.
We're going to the asylum.
His home is on the same island as the asylum, at least.
I know we're going to the asylum. I just want to make sure that we know James is railroading us at every moment. And if we don't keep our eyes open...
AP won't stand for it. He's mad as hell, and he's not going to take it anymore.
So before you leave, you shoot the governor.
We're in the Imperium. We're not allowed to do that. So we probably do it anyway.
Yeah. All right. Have a quick break?
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah. We'll be back. Keep an eye out.
Or will we?
No,
because
we will.
we're not taking AP's railroad.